Suzuki GSX R 2017. The difference between a good, modern-day sport bike and the bike people are most likely to go out and buy is millimeters. It's one extra line of code, a few horsepower, or a bit less weight. Suzuki's GSX R 1000 has lacked a little bit of everything these past couple of years, but for 2017, that all changes with a new chassis, engine, and electronics package. Suzuki wants its king of the superb bike crown back, and this is the bike it plans to earn it with. I should back up and ride bikes, seeing as how the platform includes the base GSX R 1000 and higher spec GSX R 1000R, the latter of which I had the chance to hustle around the Phillip Island circuit in Melbourne, Australia, earlier this week. The bikes share an engine, frame, and bodywork, but on the R you get upgraded shock suspension, more advanced electronics, and a long list of smaller details, including, for example, the lighter weight battery. Suzuki hasn't been sleeping its days away, and a lot of what you see on this GSX R is the byproduct of its on/off involvement in moto over the past decade. Milliseconds turn into microseconds at the highest level of racing, and the technology that's come out of Suzuki's race camp is nothing short of impressive. Race-winning, even. Suzuki's goal for the GSX R engine was to make it smaller, lighter, and have more usable power. Bore and stroke go from 74.5mm x 57.2mm on the previous model to 76.0mm x 55.1mm, the ratio that promotes better top-end performance and helps keep stresses to a minimum, while also giving the inline bore a small bump in displacement to 999.8 cc. Pistons have shorter skirts for lighter weight, plus a new dome shape for a higher compression ratio 13.2:1 versus 12.9:1. The entire valve train is outdated, Suzuki having moved to a finger follower system versus a bucket tappet setup that allows for bigger cam lobes, and replaced the steel exhaust valves with smaller, 24mm titanium pieces versus 25mm. The resulting weight savings allowed engine designers to raise the rev ceiling by an impressive 1,000 rpm to 14,500 rpm, which when combined with new 1.5mm larger intake valves, also titanium, contributes again to a much-needed boost in top-end power output. It's not all about high RPM though, which is why Suzuki has added the variable valve timing system, one that it claims is identical in design to the one on its moto bike, and that it has apparently been using on GSX R 1000-based superb bikes for a few years now. The Suzuki Racing Variable Valve Timing SR revealed the system uses centrifugal force to move 12 steel balls toward the outer edge of the intake cam sprocket at high RPM, thus rotating the position of the cam sprocket on the camshaft and retarding intake cam timing. The result? Good mid-range and a smooth bottom-end power delivery through reduced overlap at low RPM, and yet more top-end power through greater overlap at higher RPM. A new twin spar frame is 20mm narrower at its widest point, and yet 60mm wider at the rear engine mount, which Suzuki claims will help quell whatever vibrations are gained from the balancer-free engine. The main frame weighs 10% less, and is paired to a new subframe that weighs 38% less. Moreover, the longer swing arm is now braced on both sides instead of just one, for increased rigidity. That longer swing arm will probably help improve outright mechanical rear-wheel traction, but in the world of modern-day leader bikes, there's no replacement for electronics, and Suzuki has finally stepped up with an IMU-based electronics package that includes a 10-level plus off traction control system, dubbed Motion Track TCS. Other features include Suzuki's low RPM assist system, easy start system, launch control are only bidirectional quick shifter are only, and ABS, which on the R model uses roll data from the IMU to add the cornering ABS function. There is no wheelie control or engine brake control, though there are still 3 different riding modes, each of which offers different power delivery options. The power delivery is probably the thing you'll notice first. That corner exit delivery is so smooth that it borders mellow. Then at 10,000 rpm, as the VVD system starts rotating the position of the cam sprocket on the camshaft, there's a faint punch, with the engine suddenly revving more freely and having quite a bit more steam than the previous generation GSX R 1000. Suzuki claims 199 HP at 13,200 RPM, versus 182 HP at 11,500 RPM measured at the crank, but around the same torque. 87 pound-feet at 10,800 RPM versus 86 pound-feet at 10,000 RPM, and that's about how the bike feels, much stronger and smoother up top, but still super user-friendly, and quite similar torque-wise. It won't dominate I know tests, but it will prove to be a very flexible engine on the track or street. In the end, Suzuki has created a bike that retains the spirit of the GSX R but at the same time feels so much more refined and advanced. This may not be the absolute lightest handling leader bike or the one that makes the most outright power, but it's an incredibly confidence-inspiring motorcycle overall, and strikes a perfect balance between user-friendliness and raw performance. In a class where milliseconds and ounces make a difference, this one goes so far in putting Suzuki's GSX R platform back on the map that it could very well be the bike that brings the king of the superb bike crown right back to Suzuki's doorstep.